그냥 말해보면 이거든.
Let's start with the video. Chapter 85. Summary: Joe couldn't enter the house due to the crowd. He decided to approach directly, and a soldier asked him his business. He said he was Ming's friend. The soldier looked at him cautiously and informed Mike of his presence. Mike, appearing exhausted and with heavy dark circles, asked Joe why he was there. Joe explained they came to identify the body. Mike said there was nothing to identify, only bones remained. Joe's heart tightened, realizing Mike was referring to his body. Mike seemed resentful and muttered about Joe causing worry. Joe asked to see the corpse, but Mike refused, asking who Joe was to him. Joe couldn't reveal his identity, so he claimed it was for Woot. Mike denied the request, stating his brother Ming was inside and wouldn't allow anyone near. Mike warned Joe not to leak any information about his situation, as he could not bear the consequences. Joe was shocked to learn Ming had trapped himself in the room with Joe's corpse, guarding it for some reason. Joe couldn't understand why Ming would do this, as he believed he had never occupied a significant space in Ming's heart. Joe, filled with panic, decides to confront Ming after Mike's revelation. He enters the dark and eerie house next door, guided only by a flashlight. The room is in disarray, and when he turns on the lights in the bedroom, he is faced with an unsettling sight. A skeleton, covered in white cloth, lies on the bed. Ming is seated on the floor, looking lifeless. Joe is overwhelmed with grief and sorrow, unable to approach the skeleton. He realizes that the skeleton was once his living body, and the reality of his death hits him hard. Ming, still alive, is a mere shadow of his former self, looking pale and lifeless. Joe is filled with regret and anger, blaming Ming for his death. He feels that Ming's heartbreak came too late, and he hated him for it. Overwhelmed with emotion, Joe runs out of the house, tripping and falling. He howls and cries, consumed by his long nightmare. The urgent cries of someone pulling him away fill his ears, but Joe pushes them away, wanting to run further. Eventually, he collapses to the ground, consumed by darkness. If you like this kind of video and want more videos, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Only 7.6% of you had subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe. It will motivate me to make more videos like this. Thank you so much for your attention and participation. Let's continue with the video. Chapter 86. Summary. When Joe woke up, he saw Saul's face. He felt like his body was in a dream, unreal. Saul and Woot looked at him with concern. After drinking some water, Joe thought that he must have a clear mind and pull himself together. He realized the most important thing now was to retrieve his and his parents' things. Seeing Joe calm, Saul and Woot became worried, afraid he might do something extreme. Joe assured them he was fine and went to see Mike. At the house, Joe saw 2 monks, which made him nervous because he had taken possession of another person's body. He entered the house and felt an unusual atmosphere. Mike introduced Guru Surya, an old monk with a penetrative gaze. Joe clasped his palms in prayer form and bowed, showing respect. Joe had met many powerful people in the entertainment industry who had a strong need for faith. He found it common for some big state-owned enterprises and private enterprise bosses to believe in Buddhism or other spiritual beliefs. Therefore, it was not surprising for Mike to have a guru. In the past decade, Joe had come in contact with many prestigious and powerful people, and he knew that the more powerful a person is, the stronger the need for faith. Mike sought out Guru Surya to inquire about what he saw in the house when he went in. Joe, feeling uncomfortable under Guru Surya's intense gaze, revealed that he had seen a pile of bones under white clothes and Ming in a trance. After some time, Ming came, looking haggard, and asked Joe to convey a message to Woot. Ming informed Joe that he would handle Joe's remains and estate, including the condo. Joe, puzzled and angry, inquired about Ming's intentions. Ming revealed his plan to remodel the condo, making Joe feel helpless. Joe, desperate to retrieve Joe's belongings, including items of sentimental value to him, pleaded with Ming that few items have sentimental value for Woot. Ming, indifferent, declared his right to handle Zhou's affairs, causing Zhou to lose his temper. Ming then asserted his relationship with Zhou, stating that he was Zhou's man, leaving Zhou with no choice but to leave. Alone, Ming clutched his chest, feeling a dull pain in his heart, and stared in the direction where Zhou had disappeared, whispering Zhou's name. Don't forget to share this video and comment your thoughts about the series. Chapter 87. Summary: Zhou went back and informed Woot and Sol about Ming's intention to take over his condo. They all became suspicious and decided to go back to Bangkok immediately. Zhou asked Woot to contact his aunt, but she turned off her phone. Woot and Sol had their own matters to deal with, so they parted ways after urging Zhou not to overthink. Zhou acted normally when he got home, but at midnight he changed into black clothes and went to his condo to retrieve his father's trophy. When he arrived, he found that Ming had not changed the lock, and the key was still there. He entered the dark room and reached for the trophy, but the lights turned on, and Ming appeared at the bedroom door. Ming stared at Zhou with a fierce gaze, making him realize that Ming had planned this encounter to make him anxious and impatient. Ming struggled to breathe and spoke with difficulty. "Really? Is it you?" Zhou took off his scarf and coat, feeling weak and in pain. He decided not to pretend anymore and stood his ground, determined to take back his condo. Ming moved closer to Zhou, who stepped back in surprise. Ming, emotional, embraced Zhou and asked why he hadn't revealed his identity sooner. Ming, believing Zhou was dead, had ignored his family's opposition and became an actor, hoping Zhou would return. Ming thought Zhou was angry, so he never returned. He endured 3 years of hope and despair, suppressing the voice in his heart that said Zhou was dead. Despite his pain, Ming never fell in love or dated, focusing on his childish love for Zhou. Zhou, shocked by Ming's tears and confession, couldn't understand why Ming appeared heartbroken. He remembered Ming's fluctuating affections and giving up when he learned of Ming's feelings for Tong. Ming, desperate, held on to Zhou, confessing his love. Hearing this, Zhou's world collapsed. He asked how Ming could say he loved him when his heart belonged to Tong. Each word was heartbreaking. Thank you for watching. If you want to read the novel, then visit patreon.com/blspoilers. The link will be in the description. Special thanks to my legendary supporters: Melanie Harris, Kiara Russell, Rebecca, Anne, Brian Stargill, Chelsea 212, Suzanne 233, Tamara Coomer, Ims T, Maria Lalbachian, Sharon Fong, Martina Bosankova, S. Armstrong, P.P. Ri, Eddie,